Hello friends, today we are looking at a Jund modified creature deck, Jund being green, red, and black. This deck leans pretty heavily on Reckless Stormseeker, a card we've seen before that gives your other creatures haste, as well as the Thundering Raiju, a new card from Neon Dynasty. Important thing to remember about this card first is that it does not fly, but it is a 3/3 with haste that puts a +1/+1 counter on your other creatures and then deals damage equal to the number of modified creatures you control, that is, creatures with a counter of some variety on them. At the top end, we've got some flyers to fly over any remaining blockers, and on the low end, we've got Bloodchief's Thirst, Infernal Grasp, and Abrade to get rid of some of our early blockers. Outland Liberator has a large number of targets with Selesnya enchantments running around, and Kumano Faces Kakkazan is a good way to add some counters to your early creatures and make them even better. One thing to remember about Kumano Faces Kakkazan is that it also deals damage to each planeswalker the opponent controls, handy for picking off an annoying Lolth or perhaps a Sorin on the other side of the table. Let's take a look at a couple of games together and see how this works. Alright, so first game, let's see what we're working with here. Got some Reckless Stormseekers, which is always good. We could start off with a Kumano if we really need to. Opponent appears to be on mono white. I think this is a mistake here, leading off with the red-green land instead. So I'm not going to be able to follow up with an Infernal Grasp on the Aspirant on turn 2. Was not feeling good about this game when it started off. Definitely felt like I made a huge mistake not playing that black land first. But at least having the Kumano down will let me get a counter on the Reckless Stormseeker this next turn. Was not feeling good about this turn. I want to escape for 5 here. Already feeling bad until I draw that card. Decide it's too late to start killing things. Might as well just do what this deck is here to do. Get in for 4. This next turn is going to hurt, but we might be able to stabilize after that. Opponent puts the counter on the Usher of the Fallen and creates a token. We are lucky we dodged the third land and probably the opponent holding a Skyclave Aspirant or Brutal Cathar there, so we are able to follow up here. Now we've got 2 options. We can do the Predator or the Stormseeker. Opt for the Predator just because it's night. It's a thicker body on the ground. And you see the timer starts up here. I am in the tank as to whether to go in with the Stormseekers. Because it is night, their abilities give trample as well, so we could get in for a little bit of damage, but we would be pretty clearly dead on the return attack from the opponent. So just opting to hold tight for now. Late Thalia shows up. Opponent decides to do nothing, so we've got a slim chance here. Take a minute to ponder the best option. We can Infernal Grasp something, but that makes it much riskier for us on the next turn. We could Liberator the Paladin class. That doesn't get us too far. So the plan here is most likely to go all in on the Predator and see if we can squeeze out a win in probably 2 turns. So both abilities from the Stormseeker go on the Predator. An additional counter brings it up to 8. So that's potential lethal for us with the Predator next turn. We can protect it, sacrificing the Kumano if we need to. And opponent scoops it up. All right, looking at a hand for game 2. Not a lot of big threats, but we got some early interaction, which is nice. All right, looks like we are up against the Boomhauer here. We'll start off with a Kumano in the hopes of putting a counter on our second turn Kalain. Looks like we're up against either Naya Runes or Green-White Enchantments. Either one leans on the Jukai Naturalist pretty hard to decrease the cost of all their enchantments by 1. So we are going to use our treasure here to go ahead and remove that. If we don't, we run the risk of them running out a lot of ground-based permanents on the board and us not being able to break through with our only tiny creature at this point. So we see the Runeforge champion. They are on runes. It's a good thing we got rid of the Naturalist, otherwise they'd be able to play those runes for free after getting them this turn with the champion. Draw Kalain, not very useful here, but at least we get Kumano to flip. We are going to go ahead and Abrade the Runeforge champion. We do not want that sticking around. And we will go ahead and get in for a simple 4 and Boomhauer with another Naturalist. Any follow-up play for that? Looks like they are going to stick a rune on there, get in for some hasty lifelink with the Naturalist. All right, we've got a Liberator here, which could come in handy in getting rid of some of their creatures. But we've got the Abrade, so we might as well use it. And they've seen enough. We got pretty lucky there with the early removal, but let's get on to the next game. All right, here we are back again for game 3. Got some early removal and some early creatures. Decide that's good enough. We'll start off with the Rockfall Veil so we can untap with a lot of options for mana on turn 2. Okay. When you play the Vampire here, opponent could be on Mono White, Selesnya Enchantments, Naya Runes. We've got at least green and white for now. It's a little suspicious that they didn't play anything on turn 2, but we're going to go with it. I'm going to run out Florian here in the hopes of getting some card advantage on the next turn. I don't play with this card a lot, so you might see me try to pick up a card here. Yep. Not going to be able to play that one, buddy. All right, opponent. All right, so second white land here into Touch the Spirit Realm makes it look more like the green-white enchantments list that leans on Hallowed Haunting to give them spirits, and the deck is just chock full of enchantments and a lot of removal. It plays 12 of those enchantment removal spells. So we play the Thundering Raiju of our own, able to get in for some quick hasty damage and put a counter on our Bloodtithe Vampire. Opponent with some more removal, the green-white enchantments deck. Exiles the Thundering Raiju. Not too bad, we draw another hasty creature. So we could either remove the enchantment with our Liberator, or just go ahead and play the Stormseeker. We're just going to go ahead and play the Stormseeker here, give it haste, and get in for 7s. We'll see if the opponent decides to board wipe us here, if we need to get the Liberator to free up the Raiju, and opponent just scoops it up. All right, well that's about it. Thanks for watching the games. Hope you learned something. If you enjoyed the commentary during the games, let me know. Otherwise, I will see y'all next time. Thanks for watching.